Hello everyone, this is Shinobi, once again with another Awaken Kyocera video. So today I'm going to talk about the best to the worst in legendary heroes. But before we move ahead with that video, I would request all my viewers to please like my video and of course subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all the support that a lot of you have given me by subscribing to my channel. At the same time, more than 60 to 70% of my viewers have not subscribed to my channel, so please subscribe to my channel. Alright, so let's go ahead with the video and let's talk about some legendary. But before that, I've got a few criterias that I have made for myself when I'm grading up legendaries, and some of them are like, I need them to be useful in dungeon, in arena, in void tower. Right? So these are the main areas that I want them to be useful. But there are also other areas that they are good, like in RTA or maybe in GVE. Ruins of God is also a good place for farming, or maybe in No Man's Land, or maybe in adventure. But I'm at this moment, I'm not really concerned about those heroes that are very good in RTA or very good in adventure or very good in endless trial. Those are the areas that I completely neglect. So my main criteria is dungeon, guild boss, faction war, ruins of God, void tower, and arena. So I'm looking at heroes that are like going to be useful in all these areas, and be S tier or in most of these areas. And the worst one is obviously they are worst everywhere. Okay, they're good for nothing anywhere. So let's just go ahead and have a look at all the heroes that I consider as being one of the best heroes that are available among legendaries that are available in this game, right? So in Holy Light Empire, you can see the first one over here is Lydia. She's like the best in arena. She's been really good in arena for a long time. Of course, the meta has moved. They have moved to other areas, but she's still one of the best that is there in arena. But that's not what I want to say as being the best. Okay, all these heroes that you see over here are not one of those that you can use everywhere. They are very specific in nature. But Shane, you can use in a lot of areas. If you want, you can use him in arena. If you want, you can use him in dungeon, in void tower, in RTA, or even in GVE. Any of these areas you can use Shane, even though he's not S tier in all those areas. In dungeons is certainly S tier. In Ash, you got one of the fastest run in Ash Magister. In Queen of Tides, you can use him. In Witch of the Wind, you can use him. Right? In Tulpa also, if you want to build a team around him, you can use him. So, but in Ash Magisteria and Witch of the Wind, he's like an S tier kind of a hero, right? He's also really good in arena. But I would say I would not rate him to get him have 4 or 5 S tier, but still he's very useful. So among Holy Light Empire, one of the most useful heroes that I see is Shane. The rest of the heroes are very specific. I got Rachel yesterday. I'm trying to build gear on her. It's very difficult to get the kind of gear that I need on her to do a fast Queen of Tide runs, but she's only useful there. She's not useful anywhere else, right? But she's the best there. If you get her, you can make really fast Queen of Tide runs from there. Among Holy Light Empires, the worst legendary hero that I can say is Darcy. Okay, I have him, not built him, have done nothing with him because I know I can't use him. Unfortunately, I can't use him. So in Holy Light Empire, the best over here would be Shane, and the worst over there would be Darcy. The rest of them are intermediate, like Urian. He's really hard hitter, the best hitter that is there in the entire game, but he's only specific use. Okay, not useful everywhere. Nero, he's good in a lot of places. I'm not saying that he's bad, but unfortunately he doesn't come to the level of Shane. And Shane is like the best out there among Holy Light Empire heroes. The new one, Zoltan, he's also good, but basically arena kind of guy, single target kind of guy. So I don't consider him to be as useful as that of Shane. But if you get Shane, build him up immediately. Among Chrisas, it's a very funny place, okay? We have got this guy, Gubeg over here. He's been there since the beginning. They have tried to buff him up 3-4 times, and he's still the worst one. Okay, he's still not good. Still the worst one that you can get that is there. But you got Garrel, useful everywhere. Void Tower, dungeons like Tulpa, GVE, Faction War, Arena, you can use him everywhere, right? So among the Chrisas, he is the best one that is there. And you are also like almost guaranteed when you're starting up Garrel, you're getting him. But the thing is that you do need him to have a very good gear to be really useful. But at the same time, he's useful in all the areas. Wherever you need him, he's useful. I'm not going to go about Crazed Urzak. He's also really good. He's S tier in Void Tower. He's really good in Arena, not so useful in Dungeon, but because he's light hero and he's not useful in like progression sense, in the sense that you can't use him for farming, I don't really consider to him at the top tier in a general sense. But I think like Garrel is much more better. So in Chris's, Garrel is the best one over there, and of course obviously Gubeg is the worst one. You can find no one worse than him possibly in the entire game, because he's been there for ages and still completely useless. All right, now when it comes to Lasir, they've got so many really good heroes, but at the same time, you know, they are all very niche kind of thing. I do not say that any one of these ones are like the best of the best. I can't simply say this is the best one in this one. Like, they are all like in a mediocre sense. Even if you say that Valeria is really good, of course she's really good. She's really, really good in Void Tower Heart. I use her. Ashlyn is good. She's good in Arena. Nicholas is good. Both Dark Nick and Light Nick, they are both good. Evelyn First Dawn is really awesome. Getting her is really, really good. But then I cannot really pinpoint and say that they are good in all the areas that I mentioned, like in Dungeon, in Guild Boss, in Faction War, in Ruins of God, or in Void Tower. They're not good everywhere. Unlike Shane, unlike Garrel, they're not good on all those areas, but they are very good at certain areas. But the best over here, Valeria was my starter champion. I'm not mentioning Light Dark over here. If I mention Light Dark, Evelyn First Dawn is obviously the best over there in Lasir, but Valeria over here is really good. It's awesome. Okay, the rest of them are mediocre. I wouldn't say that they're the worst in the entire Lasir faction. So yeah, you can build them. You can have Light Nick, he's good. Dark Nick, he's good. I think like Dark Valeria is probably not as good, because I faced her in a lot of time in Arena and she couldn't do much. So based on my personal experience, I do think Dark Valeria is the worst one over here, and the Fire Valeria is probably the best one. Okay, so Soul Plunders and Soul Plunders, again, one of the factions which I would say has got really good ones, like Gangelo. He used to be the MVP. He used to be until we had stage 12 in Dungeons. He used to be the MVP. Okay, except for Arena, he's not useful in Arena. In Void Tower Heart also, I could use him. I could use him in Dungeons. Possibly even in like, you know, other areas like Faction War, you may be able to use him. But because poisons are not so effective, I think like he's just a dungeon specific kind of hero. But Sierra over there is useful in all these areas up to stage 12. She's very good in Dungeons, she's very good in Arena, she's very good in Void Tower Heart. So among these people, I think like Sierra is the best one in Soul Plunderers, and the worst one over here is obviously Desmond. He's desperate, you know. He's really desperate. and begging Ace to make him good. But he is still not good. Okay, he has got wonderful skills. The only thing is that Ace needs to give him some damage. Come on, Natalia can one-shot the entire wave, and he's not able to do anything to that same wave. And he's a legendary. It's so hard to get him, to build him. And unfortunately, he is not good. He and Terrace are like very similar in nature. I'd say both of them are just as bad, but because Desmond has been here, he has the seniority. He was the older guy, and so personally, for me, Desmond is the worst one that you can ever get. And Sierra is the best one in Soul Plunderers. Of course, I do have Abaddon, but Abaddon is very niche, very specific area, guild boss, possibly in Ruins of God. Other than that, I don't see much use for him. So the best one over here is certainly Sierra. In Sylvan Woodland, you have got wonderful healers, wonderful debuffers, right? People like, Godfrey, who can reduce your who can increase the enemy's cooldown. Awesome people. Blackhorn was my first healer. I kept him for a long time. He was the one I used to farm Gemini 12 and made it very faster, so made it consistent for me. So he is a really wonderful hero over here. As healers, Mitesia and Blackhorn are beyond reach. They are like the best over there. Cyrus over here is a beast in Void Tower. She can do really good in Void Tower. Okay, don't neglect her. I would have said, before Cyrus was changed to Bella in Synthesis, I always used to tell my viewers or anyone who asks me who to synthesize, I would say immediately make Cyrus. Get her to 5-star, get her to 6-star, no problem. She's really good. The only thing is that, she builds up her turns to do an AoE kind of damage, but still she's hit so hard. She has got her own survivability. She'll not take some damage for a long time, and she's also fast, really fast. So because she's naturally fast, you can concentrate more on her damage rather than on her speed. And so I think she's really good. Okay, so out here I can say the best one over here is debatable. Okay, it depends upon where you want to use the person, like probably Mitesia or probably Blackhorn or Cyrus. In Arena, Godfrey. So you have plenty of options over here. The worst one I found is Thor. Yeah, he was brought in with big pomp and ceremony, but it fizzled out. He has become I don't know if anybody uses him or not. I don't have him, so possibly I might be grumpy about it, but at the same time, I don't think he's really good. Okay, let's go to Titan Iceland. I made a video about Rick, okay? But personally, as of now, I think he's the worst one over here in Titan Iceland. The others are really good. Eldebrand, the Brand the Brilliant, awesome. I got him when he was introduced. I was lucky enough to pull him. I have not yet got a copy of him, but he is the best one among Titan Iceland. Brand is awesome. Rick is still not good. Okay, I hope he would have been good. Okay, Berkeley is useful in Guild Boss, but the worst one over here is Rick. I have not used him well. I tried to use him in Arena against Lydia, but possibly after this buff he must have been a little bit better, but still he doesn't have that versatility of Brand the Brilliant or Brand. Both the brothers are really good in Void Tower, in dungeons, certain areas of dungeons. Okay, Brand is really good up to stage 12. After that, his utility comes down, but they are also good in GVE, in Faction War, so you can use them there as well. Okay, so that's what I think about Titan Iceland's Legos are considered. And among free cities, the best over here, the best hero that you can have in the entire game, okay? Clarence. She is the MVP. Of course, it's debatable. Some people will say, no, Shane is better, but I think like Clarence is better. When she was introduced, I pulled and pulled and pulled to get her. I couldn't get her on the first month. I had to wait for like one and a half month to get her. Once I got her, I managed to finish all my dungeons. Okay? Every one of them I was able to complete without any problem because of her unique skills and heals. Such a good healer, such a good buffer in the sense that you are able to do take extra bonus attack, and that makes you that makes her really good. So Clarence is the MVP, and you also have someone like Opal and Tia. All those guys are really good. I'm not saying all of them that I've got are very good ones. Yolanda's utility has gone down, not the Divine Yolanda. Divine Yolanda is not really good in GVE. Oh my gosh, everybody is using them, getting very good damage out because of her. I don't have her. I wish I had her. And Tia is a synthesizable hero, very fast, really good in Void Tower. Opal, you need, I use an Opal team in Queen of Tides, in Ash team, so they are really good. Imogen, she is good in Void Tower. I can use her in Void Tower, but otherwise she's not really good. She used to be really bad, but now at least you can use her in certain areas. Like, of course, it's in Arena and in Void Tower. In other areas, you can't. But Opal, you can use in Arena, you can use in Dungeon, you can use in Guild Boss, you can use in GVE, you can use in RTA, you can use in any other place within the game. So, and even Tia also you can use. So, but among all of these, the best is Clarence. No one can beat her in her utility, in her skills. And then comes Opal and Tia. The worst one, Fenrich. Not that he's not useful, but he's the worst one in this group. Okay? Just because you have some use doesn't mean that you're the best. Okay? Alright. In Free Cities, Fenrich is the worst one that you can have. I hope you don't get him. I didn't get him, so I'm just happy. Okay, in Dragonscale Marsh, they don't have really useful heroes, even though they are called Dragonscale. When we came in a year back, we used to have a kind of guaranteed summon where Hydracia used to be one of those 4 options that you can choose as guaranteed summon. But I did not choose Hydracia, I chose Valeria, and I'm happy that I did not choose Hydracia. That's what I think about Dragonscale Marsh. I'm happy that I did not choose them. The only one who has got some utility is like Zetlin. Of course, Molhex has got plenty of potential. I just think that he needs a little bit more of damage out of him to show his true potential. His skills are really good. I used to use him in Guild Boss, I used to use him in Dungeons, but I think like he needs that little bit more of damage that actually will make him really good. But at this time, he's not the worst one over here, but he's still not good enough. Okay, and the rest of the heroes, I haven't built her up. She's only Darkest Arena. She's only useful in Arena. I haven't built her up, but she's not the best one. I don't think there is anybody I can say in Dragonscale Marsh that, this is the best one that you can get. No one. Zetlane, if you get him, you can use him in certain areas, in Bounty Hunt, or in Guild Boss, or in possibly in GVE, or possibly in RTA or Void Tower, in certain areas, but he's not the best out there. The utility that you can get from any of these heroes in Dragonscale Marsh is really low. So I just hope that I don't get any more of Dragonscale Marsh heroes. I don't want copies of them. They're like not really good, but I can certainly say that Elion is the worst one. If you had gone after her, useless. Okay, so now the last group. Okay, this is second last group. Got one more, a temporary one. Okay, so Visitors by Sea, Bella, useful only in Tulpa. You can use her. Yeah, you can use her in Tulpa. Pluto, you can use him in Ash Magister. So they're like one of use kind of people. All of them are like only useful in certain areas. Halia, when she was introduced, was really good. She was nerfed a bit, and that brought down her utility a lot more down, but she's useful in, like, you can still use her in specific teams in Queen of Tide, or in Ash Magisteria, or in Witch of the Wind, or in Void Tower. It depends upon how you are able to make the team, but you will be able to use her in those areas. So in Visitors by Sea, the best one over here as of now in Legendaries is Halia. The others are like not so good. I wouldn't say that they are the worst of them, okay, because even Lyrely or Alicia have got their uses, but I think like if I want to place someone at the worst one, I might personally place Alicia as the worst among the Visitors by Sea and Halia as the best one, but they are all like, moderate heroes as far as legendaries are concerned, but their epics are much better than their legendaries in their utility. Okay, the last one, Travelers from Afar. If you have been in Attack on Titan event, you would have got these, and of course there is beyond any doubt Aaron is the best among them. The rest two are, Mikasa can be like useful, but Levi, I don't really use him anymore. I tried to build him up, but I don't use him. We got better heroes than Levi, but yeah, Aaron and Mikasa has got a synergy, so you can use Mikasa, but Aaron is absolutely good. It's really good. Okay, he's good in almost all dungeons. Gemini Dragon, Ash Magisteria, Queen of Tides, Witch of the Wind, you can use him everywhere. There's no problem in using him. Okay, depends. But in Queen of Tide, you do need a good team to make him useful, because no, I don't think he'll be very useful in Queen of Tide, especially after stage 12. He'll not be useful because there are not going to be any debuffs out there, so he's not going to be really useful out there, and you can't just gain damage from the debuffs. But in Ash Magisteria, Witch of the Wind, Gemini Dragon, Aaron is a must. You do need him. You can use him in Guild Boss, really good in Guild Boss. So I think like Aaron is the best one among Travelers from Afar. Yeah, so that's what I think about the best and the worst within the legendaries of each factions that I think of. That's what I could think of at this moment. That's what I think, I believe from my personal experience, from what I've seen in the game, from what I've used. I think these are the best and these are the worst among them. What do you think about that? Of course, there are differing opinion on various heroes, okay? Some of you may say that, oh no, Shinobi, this is the best one. Not a problem. I have no problem with that. That is your opinion. That is what you have used. I have absolutely no problem with that. At the same time, I do know that there are some other better ones. Only thing is that I have not yet got them, so I'm not going to praise them. Okay, right. So let me know what you think about that. Post it on the comments. And of course, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. So until next time, peace, love, and blessings to all of you. See you guys. Bye.